Good evening, everyone. I am your classmate, Alaina Barro Bastasa, and I am from Tagulutukuran. And I want you to know little about me. But don't ask me about my talent because I don't have any. But I have some skills. I am an EAM NC2 holder. I am a hairdresser. And the most proudest achievement I've got in high school was that when I won as fourth placer in the National Science Quiz held in Baguio City. Yeah, it's very cold there. We're going to discuss the self as a product of modern society among others. First, we have sociology. In the sociological views of understanding the self, social situation, because a great deal in defining the individual self-concept and self-esteem as well. So, so we develop our self-esteem through a group of people. So, paano daw natin madidevelop yung self-esteem natin, yung confidence natin, if tayo lang daw mismo ang nag-a-uplift nito? So, we have to develop ourselves through with other people. So we have sociological views. First, the self as product of modern society. Second, the self as necessary fiction. Third, postmodern view of the self. Fourth, the self as an artistic creation. So later on, we're going to further discuss all of this. So, modernization is the destruction of the self. Why? Because through technology, through advancement of life and the new generation, it distracts who we are. It changes our meaning, our perspective towards ourselves. So, it delocalizes the self. Kumbaga, yung mga rules natin ay unti-unti nang nawawala. Unti-unti nang naa-adapt because of some procedures. Next, people tend to be more impersonal and leads to destruction of the traditional way of life. So, from the limitations imposed by the society before, people nowadays are already free to seek their own identity. Thus, their selves gets delocalized. So we have modern society questions. What to do? So, hindi natin alam kung anong pwede nating gawin because of modernization. Kasi marami tayong makikita na pwede nating gayahin. Like, sa TikTok, no, may nakikita tayong mga babae o mga lalaki na sumasayaw sa harapan ng maraming tao. So, para sa ating may mababang self-esteem, nakakatulong siya yung panunood natin sa kanila dahil matutulungan nila tayo in a way that pwede natin silang gayahin. So, masasabi natin sa sarili natin na kaya nga nila, 'di ba, na sumayaw sa harapan ng maraming tao. So, what about me, no? So, kaya ko rin siguro. Kaya doon nagsisimula yung development ng self-esteem through with other people. Kumbaga, nakakahawa rin, no, yung confidence. Nakakahawa rin pala yung confidence. And then, what to be? So, sino ba ako? Sino ba dapat ako? Ay, who to be pala yan, mali yan. Type. Then, we have how to act. So, ano ba dapat ang kinikilos ko? Nakarapat dapat para sa ibang tao. Nakarapat dapat sa edad ko. So, ganun ang mga mindset. Ay nakakatulong siya, no, to evaluate ourselves. Right? So, example of how modernization affect our perspective towards ourselves is that how will you define love in terms of traditional outlook? And how about modern outlook? So, in traditional noon, di ba yung mga lalaki, pag nanliligaw sa mga babae, is nanghaharana. So, sa Visayan vernacular, gitawag na to na siya mamisita with a formal attire. So, but if we're going to compare it right now, these days, yung mga lalaki, pag nanliligaw, is effortless na, di ba? Effortless na chat-chat lang. Makauyab na dayon sila without difficulties. So, love lang gihapon siya, matawag lang gihapon siya love, no? Pero strange na siya. Kay based lang po sa akong experience, no? Kasulay man jud ko anang panguyaban ta sa chat, no? Hala, close kay sa chat. My God! Sa personal. Bisan nagkabanggaanay na, murag mga stranger, murag wa jud nagkaila ba? Bisan wa jud nagkaistoryahanay ba? Bisan huy na lang, kumusta? Murag ana. Ang resulta, saan pagsugot, di ba, no? Di ko nila na uyab. Joke. Example ra na. So, that is the difference between modern love and traditional love. So, we have the self as a necessary fiction. Sometimes, no, we view ourselves in terms of movies, animes, because our society influence our experiences and behaviors. We don't want to build on society, no? That is why we imagine things based on our fiction. So, the belief that cannot be proven to be true but necessary to sustain life since people need some sense of certainty in a world of constant change. So, in this point, no, sometimes we avoid that change, but the world needs some changes. So, we need to adapt in this time of situation because that is how the world is being changed. So, right. Oh, pareha nang makita nato sa mga K-drama ba, di ba nga? Ng mga babae nga kanang magpa-hard to get kunuhay, dayon mga lalaki pud nga pa chancing tapos gusto po nato i-apply po na sa to ang love life, no? Mga ingana ba? Which is mostly mao na gid na siya nahitabo karon. Tungod man gud na sa pagka-imitator sa tawo. So ang kanang ay na perspective nimo is nawala na siya. Nakalimtan na nimo. Kay tungod na kay nakita nga nindot, nga mas nindot sa imong perspective sa imong kaugalingon, mas nindot siya nga gusto nimo nga i-apply sa imong kaugalingon. We have postmodern view of the self. Stable institutions in the ancient times such as families, the church do not have much influence on how you perceive yourself now. So, hindi na nakaka-affect ang family and church in terms of your own decision and makings because you are branded of who you are now. Diba? Because of globalization. Because of globalization, media, and technology, sometimes you yourself construct your own culture. Sometimes we adopt K-pop songs, Western songs. Man lagi syantik, tapi bukan syuk syantik. O, diba? So, and in terms of reading also, our reading habit, we also adopt it from other races because of globalization. Karon no, daghan na kitang makita nga mga murag Korean, manhiman Pinoy dito, muna gitawag Koreang hilaw. Diba? Tungod kay ni adapt ba sa katong nakita sa mga K-pop nga nindot kay sila lang taon, angin di kay sila ang mga kikay-kikay nga mga suot. So feeling po nato angayan pud ta. Ni ana ta ka imitator. So that is how globalization and modernization affect you as a person in a society. We have the self as an artistic creation. We are the reflexive project and endeavor that everyone continuously works and reflects on it. So meaning, life is not a one-way path. We try to draw ourselves, try to explore and view things with different meanings. So how we express ourselves in an artistic way? We have through singing, through dancing, painting, drawing, and many more. So the self as product of modern society among others. So within the modern society, we are facing the new time and the new changes, so we have to adapt. Kasi kahit nga rural area tayo, nasa rural area tayo, no, na-adapt na din natin yung pagka-modernize ng urban or cities. So that is how modern society affects ourselves. Modernization and globalization are not just a simple way to life, but They are necessary to sustain life.
Good evening everyone. I am Lariboy Bankiao. Tonight I'm going to discuss you about Mead's theory of self-behaviorism. Sociologist George Herbert Mead believed that people develop self-image through interaction with other people. He argued that the self is the part of personality consisting of self-awareness, self-image. Is a product of social experience. He outlined yes how to self-develops. Si George Herbert Mead naniniwala na yung pagtingin mo sa sarili mo ay nag-form dahil sa interaction mo with other people. Meaning, yung tingin mo sa sarili mo na masama ba o mabuting tao ay dahil sa pakikipag-usap mo sa iba. Kung sabi nila sa iyo na mabait ka, edi yung self mo, image mo nagiging mabait akong tao. Second is the self develops slowly through social experience. Mead rejected Freud's notion that personality is determined partly by biological drives. Hindi lang sa pananalita, pwede rin sa action. For example, walang gustong lumapit sa iyo, edi yung paningin mo sa sarili ay baka hindi ako nais result to the experience mo with others. Meaning dahil ayaw nilang lumapit sa iyo, pumapangit tingin mo sa sarili mo. The third is social experience consists of the exchange of symbol. Mead emphasize the particularly human of language and other symbol to convey meaning. So, sinasabi dito yung paraan ng pakikipagsalamuha or interaction mo with others. Sabi dito na gumagamit tayo ng symbols. Ang symbols pwede language, action, or any kind of symbols na paraan ng pagpapakita ng intention. Pwede mo i-relate dun sa sinasabi mo kanina na yung self-image mo depende sa interaction mo with others. Tapos yung interaction mo pwede yung pananalita nila or yung pag-iwas o paglapit nila sa iyo. Lahat ng symbol is
Hi, my name is Cyril J. Ambathan, 20 years old, lives in Purok Adelfa, San Jose, Pagadian City. So knowing others' intention requires imagining the situation from their perspectives. So para daw makabalo ka sa intention sa usa ka tawo, you must first analyze and imagine her situation kung ikaw ang nasa ilang kahimtang. So Mead believed that social experience depends on our seeing ourselves as others do, or as he coined it, taking the role of the others. So mao to siya imong i-analyze ang iyang kahimtang. So understanding the role of the other results in self-awareness. So, understandable na kay siya. If ma-understand na nimo ang isa ka tawo, you must gain self-awareness. So, Mead posited that there is an active I self and an objective me self. The I is active and initiates action. So, ang I self daw is mao ni siya ang imong mga action and mao ni siya ang mag-initiate sa imong action. So, the me self continues, interrupts, or changes actions depending on how others respond. So, kaning the me self, mao ni siya ang mo interrupt or mo ilis sa mong action depending on how others respond. Kung nindot ba ang response sa uban. So, Mead believed that the key to self-development is understanding the role of the other. He also outlined steps in the process of development is understanding the role of the other. So, si Mead, nagbuhat na siya guidelines or outline steps in process of development of is understanding the role of the other. So, he also outlined steps in the process of development from birth to adulthood. So, napod siya guideline nagibuhat from birth to adulthood. Gikan sa imong pagpanganak, hantod sa imong pagdako. So, that's all.
Guys, I'm Marian J. M. Zamora from Group 2. My topic is all about Crowley's theory of the looking glass self and Crowley's theory of socialization. Crowley's theory of the looking glass self, like mid-sociologists, Charles Horton Coley believed that we form our self-images through interaction with other people. He was particularly interested in how significant others shape us as individuals. A significant others is someone whose opinions matter to us and who is in a position to influence our thinking, especially about ourselves. A significant other can be anyone, such as parent, sibling, spouse, or best friend. When you say about significant others, the best example of this is when you are in a romantic relationship. Coley's theory of socialization involves his notion of the looking glass self. The looking glass self refers to self-image that is based on how we think others see us. He posited a three-step process in developing this self. We have three examples of looking glass self. The first one is how we think others see us. The second is we imagine the judgments others make about us. And the last is we create our self-image according to the comments of others. And that's all. Thank you.